me see. Yo, I said stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything, knowing that I got myself. You know, my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead, on the bed, clothes covered in red. Stop myself, I'm not myself. Headed into anything, knowing that I got myself. You know, my enemies wishing that I shot myself. Dead.
And I was muted, so I appreciate that, MMA Spire. What I was saying was, it is Michael from Combat Sports Today. Welcome to UFC Vegas 109 Breakdown. Nick is not currently here yet. I was just promoting Combat Sports Today, aka the channel I'm on right now. Like and subscribe. All platforms. We got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we drop all the latest news as soon as possible. Top tier lists. We got funny content from the fighters, interviews, everything under the sun, combat sports. If you are into everything from UFC, Lethway, MMA, Muay Thai, then we're popping. So while I'm waiting for Nick, what I wanted to talk about was this card from a betting perspective. It's actually pretty insane. We have pretty much everyone on the card is a 3-1 minimum favorite. And then obviously on the adverse side, we have a lot of big underdogs as well. It from a money line standpoint, there is almost no value in terms of betting. Like, this is almost a complete trap card that the sports books are pulling on us. I mean, obviously, as a result of the matchmaking, Vegas has deemed it that every single person or every single matchup on this card is going to require a massive favorite. So for me, from a betting perspective, when I look at this video, when I look at this card, I'm thinking maybe I just want to chill out and not bet, because we got UFC 319 coming up soon. I'm sure, I haven't looked at the lines for that yet, but I'm sure it's going to be more reasonable than we have here. And actually, speaking of, I'm going to pull up the fights that we are going to be going over. We have the one fight of the night pretty much right here. This is one of two fights that I don't know, Phil. I don't know what happened to the background and the color scheme. I didn't change anything. I was like, oh, I guess he wants us to go plain Jane for this one. But I didn't know how to change it back. I just wanted to get on at 9:05 so we weren't too late. Usually we have a cool background, but I didn't do it. I didn't change it. I thought this was your wishes. But as I was saying, Cody Brundage, Eric McConaughey at light heavyweight. Pretty ridiculous that Cody Brundage is fighting at light heavyweight, but this is one of two matchups with less than a -200 favorite. So we have Cody Brundage is at a -160, and then Eric McConaughey sitting in at around +135. I have to pull up the actual odds so we can see them, or so I can see them. But we have Cody Brundage is now a -180 favorite, Eric McConaughey +140. It's about the closest odds you're going to get on this entire card. Outside, yeah, I think this is the closest line fight. And the crazy thing is, it's Cody Brundage. So typically he's a big underdog, but he's now sitting in here as a favorite. The other closest line fight is Yasmin Lucindo and Angela Hill. This is a rough one, man. Even from a breakdown standpoint, I mean, there's some pretty clear winners throughout the majority of the card. Like, you're going to look, okay, we got an 8-1 favorite. I'm not picking the underdog. But here with Cody Brundage, I like Brundage here, man. Cody Brundage, he's got me right. Let me tell y'all a story about Cody Brundage. My man Cody Brundage has cashed me out so many times. The first round knockout prop has been, pretty profitable. I remember I had like $125 in my DraftKings account. Cody Brundage was going to fight. What's his name? Jacob Malkoun, who's very good. And I said, you know what? Let me throw this whole 125 on Cody Brundage to beat Jacob Malkoun. And for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I was like, why would I do that? Why would I put all that money on this insane prop for a first round knockout? And then Jacob Malkoun lands as a bunch of illegal strikes to the back of the head, elbows to the back of the head, gets disqualified. Cody Brundage, round 1 knockout, TKO or DQ, hits. Made like 2 bans on that. And then, of course, against Zach Reese, we get another first round knockout. And then we get, well, actually, no, the fight with, who is the kickboxer with 3 names? Judo guy. I cannot remember his name. That one was also turned over. Cody Brundage has had a pretty interesting career. This guy has a DQ win. I think he has another DQ. Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I think that's another DQ win. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then in his most recent fight against Mansour Abdul Malik, in a fight that I thought was very, very close. And Mansour Abdul Malik is a freak athlete with a solid skill set. He's not very experienced, but he's a feared prospect for a reason. And Cody Brundage was, he wasn't scared. He was willing to engage. He was willing to go into the fire. I had it 1-1 going into the 3rd round. I'm not even joking. I thought Cody Brundage was fighting very well. And even in that 3rd round, up until getting clipped, he was willing to exchange. He wanted smoke. My boy Cody Brundage wanted smoke. And that's why I'm picking him here, because he's not afraid. He's fighting a guy who's a little bit older, less experienced than the competition he's been going against outside of Mansour Abdul Malik, but he's a lot younger. Eric McConaughey recently fought against Nursultan Ruziboyev. Nothing really to take from that one. He didn't have much success in the fight. He lasted longer than I was expecting, though. I thought it was going to be a round 1 finish. Eric McConaughey is tough. He showed a little bit of grit in that fight. I do think Cody Brundage is the better fighter, though. He has better offensive wrestling. If Eric McConaughey wants to wrestle, I don't think he's getting Cody Brundage to the ground. And here's Nick. Just in time for Cody Brundage.
Oh my God. I'm actually upset that I missed this, because I was going to tell everybody that I can guarantee I can guess your pick on this. And Cody Brundage says it all. Says it all.
Yes, sir. I actually started the first time ever, but it was just me. Well, it's not the first time it was just me, but I popped in immediately after the intro goes. I start yapping. Follow CST on all platforms. Like and subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. No sound. I was muted for the first time. I probably said 150 words. But hey, I like that in the background.
Wait, I thought I was putting it on the background of the thing.
Can you do it? I don't even know how to do it, bro.
Because I saw Phil saying what happened to the background. So I was trying to find it for you, Phil. Trying to find it for you, my brother.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do anything for my screen. I just thought it was blank for a reason, whatever. It don't matter. Either way, we getting after it. I got Cody Brundage minus 180, and I got him inside the distance. I'm going to say knockout. But I wouldn't be surprised if Eric McConaughey gets desperate and shoots in on a sloppy double leg and gets guillotined. But also the point I was making with this fight, Cody Brundage as a minus 180 favorite, which is crazy because he's usually a big underdog. He is the tied for the closest money favorite on the entire card. I was talking about this fight card is kind of just overall a trap. There's a lot of unbettable lines, a lot of lines that don't make sense, but we're going to get into that shortly, of course. Now, who's your pick for this fight, Nick?
I mean, I'm going to be just completely honest with you. Imagine betting Cody Brundage at minus anything. If you're betting Cody Brundage at minus literally any number, doesn't matter what that minus number is, do me a solid and call the number. Just because Cody Brundage at minus anything is fucking insane. And I mean, Cody Brundage is someone that gasses, looks for ways out of fights. I mean, all the value comes from no contest or a possible disqualification. And I'm not saying Eric McConaughey's a world beater, let's say. I mean, but his last fight, I mean, he didn't necessarily take it on short notice because he was training for a tough enough fight. And I know for a fact he was in the gym because a local fighter here named Marcus Nash out of Arizona. He's I would say he's a online buddy of mine. I see him training with Eric McConaughey, and Marcus Nash is someone that I really highly respect out of LFA. He's had 2 viral knockouts. I know you've seen one of them. I'm just kind of rambling. I'm a little blazed right now. But with that being said, man, you're giving me an opportunity to fade Cody Brundage at dog money. I'm going to do it every time. And this may be a possible live line. So I would put a little sprinkle on Eric McConaughey by finish because Cody Brundage is a gas bag and he's a quitter.
He didn't gas against Mansour Abdul Malik. He was out there banging in round 3 until the headbutt.
Yeah, I don't know. I also didn't think I wouldn't say he was banging.
They were exchanging. It was insane exchanges. That was a fight of the night type fight.
I couldn't disagree more, friend.
You got to rewatch it, bro. Everyone was talking about it on social media. They were banging in there.
But with that being said, man, Cody Brundage isn't good. At minus 180, I just think you would be anyone, not just you. I just think anyone would be crazy to bet him at minus any money. So purely from a betting perspective, I'm going to watch this fight live. And if Cody Brundage gets out of round 1 and he's breathing hard, which I know he probably will be, I'm going to take Eric McConaughey, who's probably on the good MMA lab sauce. So
beware of betting against Brundage. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I may not even bet this fight, to be honest with you. This card's like almost unbettable. Like I'm not even going to talk.
Is pretty much
feel free to talk about this. I mean, I don't even think I feel like we could skip. Hey, everybody, how about this? We're going to skip this fight. If you want a breakdown, go to Mike Talks right now. Mike has 2 separate videos, a prop video and a full UFC breakdown video. We don't even have to talk about this fight because Mike got you twice.
That's true, but I will but I will just real quick. I'll do it for 30 seconds, all right? Just because I want to make sure we get every single fight on here. Julia Stoliarenko, armbar or bust. I don't think she's submitting Gabriela Hernandez. I don't think she's getting the fight to the ground. She's probably going to get finished. Massive favorite, minus 440 for Gabriela Hernandez. But if you're one of those guys who puts those lines in a parlay, I would say you're safe here with Gabriela.
I would say call the number. Call the number.
Gabriela Hernandez is going to fucking destroy Julia Stoliarenko.
It's women's MMA 4-1 odds.
Yeah,
what
but
are we doing here?
It's as safe as a pick as there is on the entire card.
You know, what's funny is you're actually telling me all the lines. I haven't looked at one line for this card.
It's almost unbettable. I posted a short video on TikTok giving a disclaimer for the prop video. But this is kind of a banger here. We got a welterweight bout between Gilbert Urbina and Uros Medic. You got any sniper picks on this one, or who are you picking?
I really like I actually pretty much like this fight. Just because I think I'm a fan of Urbina, just due to the fact of I was a fan of his Ultimate Fighter season. I thought that was probably the last good Ultimate Fighter season. I like him as a human. I don't necessarily know if I like him as a fighter. Losing to Trayshawn Gore is always going to be a red flag. He looked good against Brian Battle on short notice, but that was against Brian Battle on short notice. He just hasn't given me anything to take away from as compared to Uros Medic, who just goes out there, and when he gets drowned by people, that's when he loses fight. And Uros Medic is going to go out there, and if he keeps this fight on the feet, Urbina, he's going to pop him up pretty well. And if he can survive round 1 wrestling from Gilbert Urbina, I mean, another thing with Gilbert Urbina too is like, dude damn near trains out of a barn with like his brothers and his cousins and doesn't really train with anybody, you know? So shout out to NarcoCop for pointing that out, actually, because when he said that, I was like, I'm curious. And then I went to his Instagram and I pointed all that out. So shout the fuck out to NarcoCop for pointing something out like that. And I was like, damn, you're right. He doesn't really train with like a lot of guys. As compared to Uros Medic, is in and out of different camps. Always seems to be improving his skill, even though his defensive grappling leaves a lot to be improved. Yeah, Uros Medic by win. Again, I don't know the lines to this fight. This is just technically, predictions for me. Sniper picks, man. I don't really think I have too many sniper picks besides 2 on this card. 2 I feel pretty confident about.
Yeah, so the lines for this fight are Uros Medic is sitting at minus 455 and Gilbert Urbina at plus 350. So hear me out here. I said
real quick, before you go. This fight should be lined way closer to like a minus 200 for Uros Medic. 4-1 is crazy, yo.
Yeah, there are a lot of fights like that on this card where it just does not seem right. But But yeah, for me, Uros Medic was the pick. I think he has a high, high level striking. He's a good kickboxer. He has power. He's finished in all of his wins. Uros Medic by knockout is fucking minus 250. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, bro, Gilbert Urbina he's better than a 7-4 record suggests. And also right here, as you can see on the screen, it says he's 5'9". Gilbert Urbina is 6'3". He's long. And Uros Medic has a submission loss to a 6'3" lengthy striker in Jalen Turner, if I'm not mistaken. He was also submitted by Motabek Orobai, which is not necessarily
let's not disrespect Jalen Turner's jiu-jitsu skills.
No, I know
Jalen Turner has good jiu-jitsu, bro.
He got subbed up pretty quick by Hernandez, but Jalen Turner just don't want to be in there. He is good though.
Jalen doesn't want to fight anymore. But if Jalen just grappled, Jalen has good jiu-jitsu skills.
Oh, I'm aware of Jalen's jiu-jitsu, but I'm also aware of Gilbert Urbina's jiu-jitsu. And as a plus 350 underdog with a submission prop at plus 800, I mean, I'm not going to be betting minus 250 for an Uros Medic knockout, and I'm not going to be betting Uros Medic minus 450 money line in a parlay. I think Uros Medic will probably win, but let's just say Gilbert Urbina has worked on his offensive wrestling and he's able to get Uros Medic down. He doesn't really know what to do when he's down there. And Gilbert Urbina he has some long limbs, man. And I would not be surprised if that fight goes to the ground that Gilbert Urbina will be threatening submissions. Will he get them? Maybe not. But at plus 800, that seems like the only thing worth throwing a sprinkle down, if anything at all.
I don't think it's his offensive wrestling that he needs to improve. I think it's his gas tank and his IQ, quite frankly, because if you go back and look at that Brian Battle fight, even on short notice, he was getting good low double legs, wrapping the legs well, climbing to the hips well too. Really good, just offensive MMA wrestling. So I'm going to be real with you, bro. It's a fucking good play at a good money. I definitely think that's worth a sprinkle for me too as well. You sold me. You sold me on an Urbina by sub. I love that.
Yeah, more live. I just think he's more live than the odds suggest,
I just don't think this fight's lined close right at all. I don't think this, and it's not saying Uros Medic doesn't go out there and win, and not saying he doesn't win by knockout, but minus 220 and minus 400 is insane numbers. I mean, Urbina inside the distance, which is his path to victory. Uros Medic himself, let's not act like he's a cardio Jesus over here. Dude gasses. Dude has a susceptibility to defensive wrestling, and dude will stay on his back, especially. This is the biggest thing about Uros Medic. If he puts up a good fight to explode and get it from his back within the first takedown or two, once he gets it there, and he gets repositioned and put back on his back, you see this in his fights all the time. He will submit to staying on his back and not even have a guard. He will literally just be like, I'm fucking done. I'm just done, which he has a habit of doing that. So honestly, I think you just talked me into taking Gilbert Urbina, which he
was one of my three underdogs of note, because obviously I'm not going out of my way to pick all these underdogs, but he was one of the guys that if I'm going to pick any underdogs on this card, there's only three that make sense to me. 4 that make sense, and all of them could lose. This is, like I said, this is a trap card of a event.
He's almost a 3-1 underdog, so of course he could lose, right? Like,
yeah,
no one could say no bullshit like, oh, you got that one wrong. He's a 3-1 dog, guy. This is a numbers play by definition. So yeah, I think I'm going to take Gilbert Urbina money line. I think I'm going to take a sprinkle on that on the sub too as well. So I like that. This card's almost unbettable, it seems like. Like the Hernandez fight, I'm staying away from.
It gets worse.
Brundage fight, I want to stay.
It gets worse.
It got worse. It just got worse for me, brother.
But this one actually, there's a small chance that this fight could be fun. Priscilla Cachoeira versus Jocelyn Edwards at women's bantamweight. Priscilla Cachoeira's fights are fun, and Jocelyn Edwards are not. But if Priscilla Cachoeira does what she does, this could turn into, it could turn into a little something. The way that I break this down is just Cachoeira is just a brawler, and Jocelyn Edwards uses kicks to stay at range. She'll probably be spamming kicks. If Cachoeira is able to close the distance, Jocelyn Edwards will just wrestle. And actually a sneaky a sneaky play that I have for this one, not something that I'm screaming to the hills, oh, go and bet your hard-earned money on this one. But I have a feeling Cachoeira could overwhelm Jocelyn Edwards if she's able to get inside of those kicks And Jocelyn Edwards actually is a pretty underrated wrestler. She averages multiple takedowns per 15 minutes. And I think her submission grappling, although she hasn't put it on display that often against somebody who is as susceptible as Cachoeira, I think Jocelyn Edwards by submission here is relatively live, because you turn a minus 380 favorite in Jocelyn Edwards, unbettable. And then take her by submission.
Whoa. Jocelyn Edwards is the favorite in this fight, and Jocelyn Edwards is a 4-1 favorite in this fight.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this, bro. We found our what? I'm sorry, bro.
It keeps going, bro, but every single fight's like this, though.
No. This fight's lined. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I thought you were wrong. What?
Yeah, it gets worse. When I say it gets worse than this. I mean, Jocelyn Edwards minus 350. I mean, she has a path to victory. It's stay at distance, wrestle when she needs to, but there's worse ones. It's gonna get worse. The favorites only get bigger.
Okay. All right, let me calm down before I say my thoughts here. Cachoeira loses to good girls. You know, Maverick, Jazz Davicius, fucking Jillian Robertson, right? Fucking Jocelyn Edwards beats girls like Chelsea Chandler and Vidal and goes fucking life or death with Eileen Perez and Nora Corleone. Size difference or not, I don't give a shit. The experience difference isn't really close in terms of competition. What are we doing here? Cachoeira is almost a 3-1 dog. Oh, fuck out of here, bro. Cachoeira's good dog money, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, last thing for this fight that I put on my prop video, fight to go the distance, no, is plus 123. So I thought that was something to mention. But it seems like even they're on to that. They're even on to that. It could end inside the distance. So we're going to head into more treacherous territory here soon. I got Jocelyn Edwards, potentially by submission, but the lines are just ridiculous. And next we have a bantamweight bout between Elijah Smith and Toshiami Kazama. You want me to say the odds out first?
No, I've actually been kind of preferring. So this is big here. I don't like misleading people here. This is, I'm usually pretty good at watching tape before we do these lives. I have been so caught up with boxing tape just for my boxing that I only have tape really for the main card. So I don't even know who Kazama is. So I don't even want to mislead anybody, man.
Well, so, I got it here for you.
Thank you.
Toshiami Kazama. He's willing to get after it. That's for certain. But he's kind of a jiu-jitsu guy. His striking isn't all that great. We saw him get slumped against Rinya Nakamura. He got slumped by, am I tripping? Garrett Armfield? I can't remember the name who he fought last. He's lost pretty bad recently multiple times.
I think Garrett Armfield's a good fighter, and Nakamura is someone I think that's really good too. I got a good play on Nakamura inside the distance last week, and then they closed the line on me.
Those guys are good, but it's just the way that he fights. It's like he's relatively low IQ. Basically, in my opinion here, he's going to go out there and be one path to victory, which is submission. And I think Elijah Smith is too crisp of a striker. He's too athletic. He's young. I think he's pretty promising. I want to say Elijah Smith by knockout in round 1 is plus 160, but I would say Elijah Smith in rounds 1 or 2 without any specification of knockout or submission. Elijah Smith rounds 1 or 2 at minus 150. I think it's decent value compared to a minus 850 favorite, which is what he's sitting at right now. But I'm not very high on Toshiami. Oh, he's minus 750 now. I'm not very high on Toshiami Kazama. I don't think he's anything super special. I actually do think Elijah Smith is a young, solid prospect who could have a promising career with the UFC. But let me just look and see what this motherfucker's submission is. Just for the D-Gen. Kazama by submission is plus 1,200 though. See, I'm a degenerate, bro. I see some shit like that and I'm like, ooh. But realistically, I think he's getting put out, honestly. I think Elijah Smith's defensive wrestling will be good enough to deal with any type of offensive wrestling Kazama has. he'll be able to keep the fight on the feet unless he wants it to be on the ground and find a finish within the first 2 rounds, being realistic. But the plus 1200 does make the DGen side of me want to donate. But we'll get off of this one. The boy, Julius Walker. So Julius Walker, I was supposed to interview him after his Alonzo Menafield fight, and it didn't end up happening. But I spoke with him again this week. He was cutting weight. I didn't want to take up too much of his time. He wants to do an interview after this fight. I told him go out there and get that dub. I'm excited for Julius Walker here. He was in a pretty back and forth bout with Alonzo Menafield, who has power. So this guy, Rafael Sequeira, he has power. He has a lot of knockouts. But so does Alonzo Menafield, and he wasn't able to finish Julius Walker, and that was on short notice. So Sequeira, he doesn't have the best strength of schedule. Julius Walker doesn't necessarily either, but he does have a couple sneaky wins on the regional scene, and I think he will be able to use his offensive wrestling and vicious ground and pound to find a finish here, probably pretty early. I think he's a massive favorite, though, again. You want to hear the odds?
I already know the odds because I discussed it with my boy Deluxe Better. If you're on Twitter, go follow my boy at Deluxe Better. I have a pretty decent opinion on this fight here. And I couldn't disagree with you more, saying he has a couple of sneaky good wins on the regional scene. The only
There's a couple guys who fought at high level.
Nate Bartling is not high level, and Bevon Lewis is ass. Those are the only 2 guys.
I didn't say they're high level.
Yeah, I don't think he has any good. I don't think he has any sneaky wins on the regional.
He might have. His wins are probably better than Sequeira's.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that necessarily. I mean, Sequeira, when they're fighting in you can't even trust these like 17-9 guys when it comes to those fools that are like in Brazil, because they're fighting like he fights out like demo fight. He doesn't even fight out of like jungle fights, which like most of the good Brazilian fighters at least fight out of jungle fights and like Fusion League, you know. So I mean, but yeah, no, I know the odds on this fight. Thankfully. Do you know him?
Yeah, minus 675 for Julius Walker. But Julius Walker looked good against Alonzo Menafield. I mean, Sequeira has only fought twice in the UFC, and he got fucking destroyed in both of them.
Yeah, I agree, and I disagree at the same time. I disagree with the fact that you said Julius Walker looked good. I thought, because my buddy, so Dylan, my buddy Dylan here, I went over and watched the fight with him at his house, and he swore to me, he's like, this is the guy, bro. He's the guy. I was like, damn, Julius Walker. Like, I was hyped up for him, bro. Like, the CST crew, everyone had me hyped up for him. And I watched that performance, and I just could not believe what I was watching. He's not Trayshawn Gore bad, but he's just the tier above, just barely a tier above.
Well, he took it on less than a week's notice.
And Sequeira is absolutely, yeah, I know. And Sequeira is absolutely horrible. But one sec, I was trying to find the photo of him juiced to the gills. Just absolutely juiced to the gills. Let me try to find this photo. I'll screenshot it and I'll send it, put it on my Twitter if I have to. Just as simply a numbers play. Simply a numbers play, nothing more. Because I think this is bad versus bad. I think this is not good versus not good. This is can crusher versus can crusher.
Well, I mean, one of them can wrestle, though.
Yeah, for a few minutes.
Yeah, but that's all he's going to need.
We'll see. Hey, you're very confident in it. You actually seem offended. You seem like you're defending your boy.
No, I'm not offended.
You seem like you're defending your boy. That's cool. Calm down. He's not going to date you, bro. It's all good.
I'm not offended at all.
The point I'm trying to make is give me Sequeira at 4-1 odds, because Julius Walker, it's just like betting Brundage at minus 180. If you're betting, I would much rather implore people to bet Brundage at minus 180 than anyone to put $1 on Walker at minus 650. And I will eat crow if Julius Walker goes out there and beats his ass in round 1. And I would not be shocked, because it's not good versus not good, in my opinion. But the odds are insane. This card's just an odds play up and down. And here's the best thing, though. You've taped this probably harder than I have, I think. But I don't know. I think this is not good versus not good. And I'll take the guy that gives me a 4-over return than the guy that's going to kill my parlay if I'd be pissed. It's 750 odds.
Yeah, the reason that I'm trying not to pick so many underdogs on this card is because they're pretty much all lined similar to this fight, like minus 300 and worse. And I'm trying to pick like, okay, which ones do I think have the biggest chance? I had 3 that I put of note. And I mean, I guess there's a chance Sakara could just knock him out on the feet, but I really do think he's just going to get wrestled and pummeled on the ground. And of course, I was picking hella dogs last week, but I'm like, you know what? Let me chill out and try to make some actual like, okay, which realistically, if I'm going to be placing money on these fighters, who do I think actually has a chance? And I mean, you could be right too. I mean, we haven't seen all too much from Julius Walker, but one thing I did see from Julius Walker is that he was getting blasted by some shots throughout that fight against Menafield. And I think Menafield carries a different type of power than Sakara does. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Unbettable fight for me. Even the inside the distance, if I was going to pick anything, the knockouts minus 225, submission is plus 400. I think that's possible if he's, potentially getting hurt and wants to get the fight over with. But this is a do not bet for me as well. But we got the first Mike person.
Honestly, I'm just being honest. I don't think taking shots from people. I'm at a point where I'm watching, in my opinion, taking shots from people shouldn't be something that we necessarily check as a green mark unless we've seen it maybe a few fights and they're at a certain age. Because it can be one fight, you're Chris Moutinho taking great crisp shots, 269 fights, and you're still at a young age. And just one day, all that damage comes up, catches up to you, and you're getting your lights put out. I know it's Malcolm Wellmaker, crazy hand power, but just a point example that's just an example. So, and again, Julius Walker go out there and smoke this guy. Julius Walker should be a minus 620 against nobody on planet Earth besides me.
Yeah, you would think he'd be like a minus 200 here or like a minus 180.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
this
pretty
card,
much.
This card, the prelims alone has enough underdog equity to where you could probably just bet every underdog straight, and purely based off units, you may break even if 2 of them hit just on the lines.
And it continues here through the main card. And we start the main card off with a middleweight bout between Christian Leroy Duncan and Eric Anders. I'm actually pretty confident in my pick for this one, and I'm pretty confident in my method as well. So I'll start it off. I got Christian Leroy Duncan. He's, to me, a lot of people have been very high on him. He has not necessarily been somebody that I have been like over the hill about. I'm not a huge Christian Leroy Duncan guy, but one thing he does have, and this is okay, also a disclaimer though, he likes to do a bunch of spinning shit that gets him in trouble. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go out on a whim or a limb, whichever one it is, whim or limb. I'm going to go out on one of those and say that he's not going to do all that spinning shit. Because if he does, he could find himself in a little bit of trouble. I could see him spinning, Eric Anders, rushing him, hugging him, getting him to the ground, and then controlling the rest of the round there. But one thing I've noticed about Eric Anders, for as durable as he has been, he is as old as he's ever been, and he has been getting cracked as of late. And he hasn't been getting put out, but he's been getting cracked. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to say Christian Leroy Duncan gets this thing done by knockout or TKO at plus 190. He's a massive favorite, but I think he's going to make a statement here, and he's going to finish an aging Eric Anders, who I think is incredibly tough. And I think he is a little bit better than some people might say he is. Like, he's very tough. He's well-rounded, but I think the chin is finally getting cracked here against Christian Leroy Duncan, and he's going to look to make a statement at UFC Vegas 109. I'm kind of confident in that. I was really feeling it the other day.
To be honest with you, I don't really want to echo chamber you and repeat what you just said. I agree with both. I have 2 things that do make me a little bit worried. Is Eric Anders, as much as he talks about retirement, as much as he does get cracked, he continues to fight. He has a lot of, hate to say it, a lot of dog in him. I think that's an overrated use of term, but he does. But it kind of comes back to the last point of what I just made. You can only take so much damage until you can't take so much damage, And I like that play quite a lot. I think Christian Leroy Duncan's a safe favorite, period, whether that is by decision or knockout. And that's probably a good double chance too as well if you want to do KO or decision, if you could get a little bit better of a line on it. But by knockout, I think it's a really good play, Mike. I agree.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
And I think Christian Leroy Duncan too as well may have he doesn't have a lot of finishing equity, of finishing ability per se. but I think he may have a little bit more power than people may give him credit for, especially at least he showed on the regional scene. So
let's go. We're locked in on the CLD pick inside the distance. Actually, not just KO because he's not subbing Eric Anders, I don't think. And
so
here we have a fight.
I actually have this is actually my most confident pick of the card. So I can actually take this one. I'll go first on this one, actually. So this one, I absolutely love. Michi Matsumoto, you know, I'm going to kill that pronunciation.
You did it. You got it.
Did I?
As good as you could, Matsumoto. That's
holy shit. I got it. Minus 300. He's probably the safest favorite on the card, in my personal opinion. He's probably the safest favorite all in all. I feel like you could, if you're a big money bettor, if you parlay CDL and Matsumoto, I'm curious what that is. I'm going to do that real quick before I give my favorite play of the week, which you know me well enough to where I bet you can guess it. So do you want to guess this for me before I even make this prediction?
What, who you're picking?
Not who I'm picking, what my favorite play of the week is.
I know I know what the favorite play is.
It's easy. To me, it's disgustingly lined. It should not be lined this. Matsumoto double chance by finish is plus 325 against Gasbag one trick overhand right pony. He's not fighting jab your face off font. Matsumoto's a dog willing to fight. He showed good cardio and good pace. Maybe not the best fight IQ per se. I can see Miles John sticking his neck into something, a front choke of some sort. I can see him getting his face blasted off by a knee. I can see him getting pummeled purely based with the hands. Matsumoto by finish, plus 325. Favorite play of the week. Matsumoto inside the distance, 3-1 odds. Love it, love it, love it. My favorite play of the whole card. My favorite of the whole card. And Christian Leroy Duncan and Matsumoto parlayed is minus 155. So on DraftKings, you can get it at minus 155, and you feel pretty good. And if you find one more play you really, really love, then you go play that and add that to a lay and make it a plus money lay. So I love Matsumoto here. I love Matsumoto inside the distance. Miles John inside I love taking. I know you know this. I love taking guys against Miles John inside the distance, and it kind of bites me in the ass. Not this time, partner. Matsumoto got me.
Let's go. I'll be hyped. I posted when I did the props. I did put Matsumoto by decision, but I'll probably cut in something with him at bigger plus money too, because I do think that there's a likelihood he finishes this fight. We've seen Miles John's finish before. We've seen him submitted by John Castaneda. I think Mario Batista knocked him out, and those are very good fighters as well. But I rate Gene Matsumoto pretty highly. Miles John's, although, and I said this in my breakdown too. I shouted you out. I think you know, your critiques of Miles Johns, and all that aside, you know, he's tough. He does show durability. He has decent wrestling, decent striking. I know he kind of just spams the overhands, but he's typically, you know, a pretty durable guy. But the opinion that I have on Gene Matsumoto is just that he has the potential to be the upper echelon of the division. And I do not think Miles Johns is going to be able to break into that elite level in the bantamweight division. Not saying Gene Matsumoto is going to be challenging for a title anytime soon, but I think he's top 15 potential. And I agree.
I think Rob Font showed him a good learning lesson, stepping stone kind of fight. It was one of those moments where it's like, all right, partner, go back to the drawing board. You're still young and you still have a lot in front of you. And Matsumoto's not a can crusher. He has good wins across his board. So
yeah, I like Matsumoto here. And that was another thing that I was bringing up as well. The Rob Font fight, man. Rob Font is really good. And I know people shit on New England Cartel, but Rob Font is very good. He's been good for a long time. He's fought the best.
I believe he was at TriStar for that camp, was he not? Or did
the
he
last
just
card? For the last card?
Did he just go to TriStar?
I'm not sure, but you know, when guys bring up Rob Font or Calvin Kattar,
ass on a lot of young dudes. Like he's like, yeah, we had to show Yanez what time it was.
I know, that was crazy, bro. Yeah, let's get it. Gene Matsumoto, fuck it. We go on Gene Matsumoto inside the distance. You're tailoring a plus or a minus 290 favorite into a plus 325. There's a lot of value to be had there.
If honestly, hit the fight not to go the distance is plus 250.
That's pretty decent.
If you feel better, if Miles John has power, if you would prefer plus 250, bro, only 70 cents off, that's well worth it in the same sense. I know this is going to be a true Mike versus Nick pick here too as well.
Who are you picking?
I'm not betting on it because I have to say this. Andre Fili not jumping to the other side of the guillotine, not fighting the knee to slice to give himself safety from the guillotine. And on top of that, he essentially, when he went to fight the hands against, and by the way, I'm talking about the guillotine against
Melquizael Costa.
Melky. Thank you, sir. He fought the hands and like slid it into his own neck. Brother, that's as suspect as it gets. And he just had a baby. Man, I've been doing jiu-jitsu almost 5 years, man, and I'm not a professional fighter, so please don't take that as like, oh, guy. I'm not that guy. I'm a shitty, mediocre blue belt. It says it on my fucking Instagram. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years. I'm a blue belt. It says everything you need to know. But guys, everybody knows you don't sink the hands deeper into the gilly and you jump to the opposite side and you at least try to cut the knee that's holding the frame. Like, what was that, man? It was almost like he threw the fight. In pure fight for fight, I like Andre Fili here, 29-28 decision, and I think this fight goes to split decision. I think this is a razor close Iki 29-28 split decision either which way, but I would edge Fili. I think Fili's front kicks, his fighting at range and distance is solid, and if C-Rod tries to implement that game plan, holding him against the fence and keeping him against the warning track, I don't think he has as much success against Fili as he does against other fighters. And on top of that, he's going to be the smaller fighter here naturally. So I like Andre Fili in an Iki split decision and possibly a robbery. and again, close fights aren't robbery. So let me say that, but I should say like an Iki ass decision kind of.
Yeah, this fight to me, I mean, and of course, if you're a superstitious guy, if anybody who bets with the superstition, Andre Fili has been consistently going win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And he's coming off a loss. So based on that, he should win here. But for me, I'm going with Christian Rodriguez. I like C-Rod. I think he's a pretty solid guy. One thing that I can say about Christian Rodriguez, he's pretty durable. He can eat a shot. Andre Fili, he can eat a shot, but he's also, you can clip Andre Fili. And I think Andre Fili has the speed advantage, probably has the distance striking advantage, but I think Christian Rodriguez can close the distance, get a little dirty boxing going, and potentially use his wrestling. I think Christian Rodriguez is a very well-rounded fighter, and he has a couple suspect losses, losing to Julian Erosa. I mean, it's not that bad to lose to Julian Erosa, even though he kind of got suspect gillied as well, even though Julian Erosa has a pretty vicious front choke game. Whatever you want to say about Juicy J, he's not that bad. He's pretty decent. And Christian Rodriguez, he went out there and time again, he exposes the younger up and comers. When he fought Austin Bashi, he looked incredible. And Bashi is a strong wrestler. He carries power in his hands. He completely nullified his game. I think Christian Rodriguez will be able to implement wrestling and potentially find a submission here. I'm leaning decision as well. Christian Rodriguez by decision is plus 120, but submission at plus 400 after the way we saw Andre Fili defend that guillotine against Melquizael Costa, speaking to me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I can see this fight going over 2.5. I can see this fight going to the distance, probably either way, 29-28. I'm just feeling more confidence in Christian Rodriguez. He's more durable. He's younger. He's, shown a lot of cardio, even though in that fight against – yeah, he's shown cardio. Yeah. I was about to bring up Bulgarian, even though it was Bulgarian who was the one who gassed. Rodriguez is tough, man. And outside of him getting clipped, or I guess Andre Fili sticking and moving from the outside the entire fight, I think he's going to be able to impose his will here a little bit.
I don't think, and I couldn't disagree more. I think like the way he wins fights is waits for fighters to gas out and make mistakes. And Andre Fili, unless he's selling the fight, isn't going to make those dumb mistakes. And I am a superstitious man. So Andre Fili probably doesn't make it as easy as I thought. And he probably wins this fight clearly.
Let's go. The first confident Mike versus Nick pick. I got C-Rod. Nick has Andre Fili. We got a featherweight banger. And we will move on to the next fight. We have, the third women fight of the night. This one's on the main card. Now, this fight is interesting because this is the other close line fight, one of two, with favorites that are less than minus 200. We have Yasmin Lucindo at a minus 180 and Angela Hill at plus 150. And this is where my superstition comes in a little bit because I picked Ketlin Souza over Angela Hill in their last fight. It was very close. Angela Hill won. And I don't want to be like, now I'm going to be like, oh, I should have picked Angela Hill last time, so I'm going to pick her this time. I'm not doing it. I'm picking Yasmin Lucindo, and I'm picking her to win by decision. I think Yasmin Lucindo will be able to hang in the striking department. Angela Hill is a big volume striker. I think Yasmin Lucindo will be able to hold her own, and when she needs to, I think she will be able to implement her wrestling, and I think she'll be able to control Angela Hill on the ground and probably win a 29-28, 28-29, 29-28 split decision victory. Angela Hill is notorious for losing splits. I got to go with the younger fighter here. I should have picked Hill in her last one. I'm not doing it this time because I'm going to pick her now and she's going to lose, and I'm going to be sick that I got them both wrong. So I'm going Lucindo via wrestling, control, and being able to keep it close on the feet for a decision victory.
Same thing. The only note I want to add is I just feel like Hill is really slowing down. Shout out to my boy Marshall. He doesn't watch this, but shout out to my boy Marshall. That's one of his favorite fighters. Hill's just slowing down at such a vapid rate, man, in terms of not like her activity, how much she fights, not how much she throws out there, but literally just her punch and kick speed. Just everything hangs out there. Yasmin Lucindo has such garbage fight IQ. What is this fight lined at?
Yasmin Lucindo is -180. Angela Hill +150.
It's not even that good to me. I mean, the only way to juice it and spruce it is Yasmin by decision, which is probably like what, -120?
Yasmin Lucindo by decision is -135. They're onto it. They're onto everything on this card, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just chalk it up to the safe parlay. Safe parlay is Lucindo and Hill to go the distance or over 2.5 rounds, and you add that to CLD, and you add that to Matsumoto, and you got a plus money, very safe parlay. And you put your hammer of the day on that, so you make profit regardless. That's how you play it, y'all. Bang.
Damn, the odds on this card are just ridiculous. All right, so we're both rocking with the over 2.5. Fight to go the distance, very juiced odds, and Yasmin Lucindo to win by decision. Seems like a very likely outcome. Next, we got a flyweight bout between, well, actually, this bout will be taking place at bantamweight at 135. Steve Erceg and Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne's coming in on short notice to replace Alex Perez, if I'm not mistaken. And this fight is crazy. Do you know the odds on this fight?
Yeah, I saw, I didn't get to finish your prop video, unfortunately, but I did see I saw it was one of your favorite dogs, and I saw the odds on the dogs, and it's going to be another Mike versus Nick pick by definition, just because I've been a Ode Osborne kind of fan for a while. Do you remember? I'm curious. Do you remember Ode Osborne's first UFC fight? What card it was on? Do you remember what card it was on?
No, not off the top of my head.
It was on Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. So I remember this so specifically because me and my homies were chilling. Me and my homies were watching the fights, and Ode Osborne said, one day you're going to be watching, one day you're going to be saying Conor McGregor fought an Ode Osborne card. That's what he said. And I think he went, and if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure. I think he went and got there and got choked out.
I was watching that card too. So when you say
Brian fucking Kelleher went out there and choked him out. Never forget that shit. Yeah, Steve Erceg's going to grapple fuck this man to death. Steve Erceg knows he has a compromised chin and he can't stand and bang with this athletic, solid puncher. Yeah, Steve Erceg going to grapple this man to death. I just got to know, what is the submission odds? They're probably garbage.
Steve Erceg to win by sub is +150.
Oh my God. Even that's unbettable.
I know.
That's so unbettable. So yeah, I mean, that's how I think it goes down. I think it happens at a pretty high clip, but unbettable by definition.
Yeah, for me, I definitely made sure because
also don't mind anyone hedging Ode Osborne by knockout in rounds 1 or 2 at all. That is very possible with Chinny Erceg.
When I was looking at this fight, of course, Steve Erceg was my pick. When I did my fight breakdown, Steve Erceg's the pick. But when I was looking at the fights, like, what underdogs would even be of note? And I saw Ode Osborne, and I'm like, well, he is taking the fight on short notice, but he doesn't have to cut. He is a pretty, athletic, muscular, strong guy. Of course, if there's a gun to my head and who wins this fight, I'm saying Steve Erceg. But when I look at Ode Osborne, he's had some success against some solid fighters. I mean, he fought well against Charles Johnson. I thought he lost that fight. They gave him the victory in that one. But Charles Johnson has some pretty solid skills all over. He's a good boxer. He has insane cardio. Ode and Charles Johnson were completely both gassed in that fight. So, he was making Charles Johnson work. Steve Erceg should be the cleaner striker. He should be able to keep the fight on the feet if he wants it there. I think he's a solid grappler as well. Actually, a very, very talented grappler as well. I was thinking Steve Erceg by submission, and I was like, ooh, that'll probably be like plus 300. Go check, plus 150. And I'm like, well, shit, man. And Ode Osborne as a plus 425 favorite or plus 425 underdog just doesn't make sense to me, man. I feel like if anything, he should be a plus 200 and Steve Erceg at minus 250. So he was just a dog that stood out in terms of the line doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like Ode Osborne is more live than a plus 425 underdog. I do think that he's probably going to end up losing. Can he survive until the scorecards? What is the over 2.5? Over 1.5 is minus 166. Do we really think Steve Erceg is going out there and killing him in the first 7 minutes? I don't think so. I think over 1.5 at minus 166 is solid value. I didn't even look at that for my prop video. I can't believe that.
Wait, over is minus 166?
Over 1.5.
I mean, I don't know. Ode Osborne's taking this fight on short notice. He doesn't have good cardio in the first place, and his winning condition is under 7.5 minutes. I think that's baked into the line. I think those are two things that are baked into the line. I can definitely see this fight going over, but I can absolutely see either, again, Ode smoking him early or Erceg taking him down early and just wrapping him up. Before Erceg got into the UFC, bro, his ground game's wicked, bro. He has some sick grappling highlights, bro.
He does like to strike, though, and he's not like a rush you and crush you type of fighter.
If he stands there and strikes too much with Ode, that could be a real issue, though, honestly, just because he exits in straight line. So one thing I learned from boxing is you can't exit in a straight line, and he exits in a straight line with his chin up, and he gets cracked, man. And Ode flings his two, and he follows it to you. Like, he follows it to your chin. So I think the under 1.5, that's all baked into that line, but I can see it going over too. This fight's so unbettable to me. Like,
I know.
Like, quite frankly, the only way to take it is Ode round 1 KO, and that's it. Just because it's such a good number, probably.
Yeah, Ode by KO in general is plus 900, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. And that's his winning condition here. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like, not that I think it's, like I said, I'm not out here screaming, Ode Osborne's going to win. He's the best dog of the week. The lines on this card annoyed me a lot all throughout the entire card. And I think that there's a little bit of value on Ode and his finishing potential. But Steve Erceg should be the winner here. I'm going to say Steve Erceg is going to take it either late submission. I feel like I just don't think Steve Erceg is going to be in there to kill him in round 1. I think he's going to feel it out, ease into the fight. And
that would be his smartest path, is not go in there guns a-blazing and get smoked by this dude. So,
and to be fair, Steve Erceg's best win is Matt Schnell. And he's 3-3 in the UFC now. Obviously, he just fought 3 very good opponents.
Who's Ode Osborne's best win?
Charles Johnson. That's a better win than Matt Schnell.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think he won that fight.
Didn't Charles take that fight on like a day and a half notice?
I don't remember. I just remember thinking Charles Johnson won.
Charles took that fight on short notice.
Charles Johnson also won. I was just saying, like, his best win.
Well, that's where my Charles Johnson theory came in about the 25-minute fighter theory.
Yeah.
Which he legit took my tweet, took it seriously. So I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, so we're both on Steve Erceg, but this is just a really, really ugly card from a betting standpoint. Ode by knockout at damn near 10-1 odds is certainly interesting, to say the least. And now we have the main event. We have a middleweight bout between Anthony Hernandez and Roman Dolidze. And I made a pick for this fight that I typically never make because I do not typically like Roman Dolidze. But I just can't get away from the thought that he presents some difficult stylistic issues for Anthony Hernandez. And my buddy, a couple of my friends are like, I'm surprised that you're picking Roman Dolidze. And I see Anthony Hernandez. He's like a 4-1 favorite. Roman Dolidze is 37 years old, but he's a young 37. He got into the game late. Anthony Hernandez actually now is only a minus 325 to Roman Dolidze plus 260. But there is something telling me, man. There is something telling me that Roman Dolidze presents a very, very difficult matchup for Anthony Hernandez. What are you thinking about this one? I can elaborate further, but I do want to hear your take as well.
This is a fight I feel pretty well versed in terms of taping on and things of that nature. So I think Roman Dolidze has slow plotting striking. He has dangerous Muay Thai points. And what I mean by that is his elbows and his knees are pretty dangerous. He aims for the body well, and he has good, sneaky, tricky jiu-jitsu, which is like calf slicers, which is one of my favorite submissions that I've been trying to hit lately. Calf slicers, interesting introverted back takes. And he goes for it. He has really good finishing instinct. I love his finishing instinct and finishing ability. Now, his negatives. So his positive, what match where Hernandez's negatives are susceptible to the body, susceptible to elbows and knees. Not the greatest striker, but can get hit by even slow and plotting strikers. Go look at Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. If some of the hits that Brendan Allen were smacking on this boy, smack from Roman Dolidze in the first 2 rounds, it could be big trouble in night. And we've seen Anthony finish to the body by Kevin Holland. But Roman Dolidze's negatives play into Anthony's positives, which are cardio, pace, pressure, and dragging the fight into deeper waters. Everyone keeps comparing this fight to the Hermanson fight. Like, Hermanson's someone that drags you into deep waters. Hermanson's different. He's going to offensively wrestle you differently. It's not going to be a chain wrestling. It's going to be, I'm going to wrestle you in the open and try to get on top. And if you get up, that's it. Anthony Hernandez will try to continuously chain wrestle, especially rounds 3, 4, and 5, and he builds as the fight goes on. So this fight is technically, if you can get round clusters, I like Anthony Hernandez 3, 4, and 5 by knockout. I think he takes the back at some point, rounds 4 and 5, and ground and pound Roman Dolidze's proud ass to finish. Essentially to where he could give up his neck because he is that proud, but I think he's going to finish him in the later rounds. But the biggest thing is this is going to be a possible generational live bet. Legitimately. Roman Dolidze could be beating Anthony pillar to post for 2 rounds. And if he doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, you best fucking believe it doesn't matter what shape Anthony is in. If his eyes isn't closed, I'm taking Anthony because I know his cardio. My favorite thing to bet on, as you know, is a fighter with great cardio. That's my favorite number 1 trait. Fight IQ and cardio. And damn it, Anthony Hernandez has better both of those than Roman Dolidze, in my opinion. And I don't think it's close in that sense. I think he has better fight IQ. Not even fucking close. Not even close. Go see the Imamov fight by Dolidze if you don't fucking believe me. And I also think Hernandez has by a country mile the better cardio. This fight's very similar to the Michelle Bejeda fight. Give me, in my opinion, in terms of how the gases look. So give me Anthony Hernandez, but it's going to be a generational live bet. If I'm actually hoping Dolidze drops him in round 1, I'm actually praying for it. I think that would be so sick. Let him go for the kill. Let him not finish Anthony. Let me hammer that motherfucker.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I don't think Roman Dolidze's cardio is, bad or anything. When he was fighting Imavov, he was getting the shit beat out of him. But Imavov is a different level than Anthony Hernandez, in my opinion. And I just don't
think he's had to anti-grapple anybody for 5 rounds. And this is Dolidze's first 5-rounder, right? I'm almost positive it is.
I think he went 5 rounds against Imavov.
No. Was that Imavov a 5-rounder?
I didn't look, but for some reason it's singing to me like it was. Let me look.
No, he did. You're right. Holy shit.
Yeah, and he was doing pretty good in that fight. And I think Imavov's fucking amazing.
I actually think Imavov's getting the middleweight division is good right now, man.
It is.
Like
been a
just
while.
looking at it pillar to post. I mean, we'll talk about that to end our thoughts on this, the middleweight division, but I'll let you finish your thoughts on this fight. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I cannot escape it. And Anthony Hernandez is a guy that I'm typically very high on. I have been for quite some time. And Roman Dolidze is a guy who I am not very high on at all, and I never have been. It's just his grappling. People are acting like he is completely out of his depth in the grappling department. From what I've seen, I'm obviously not letting other people affect my opinion, or at least trying not to. But a lot of people are acting like it is an absolute squash match in the grappling. I think Roman Dolidze is a stronger fighter in terms of just like his physicality. I think he's going to be, even though I don't rate his striking very highly, I also don't rate Anthony Hernandez striking very highly either. Anthony Hernandez uses his striking to get to the wrestling, so I don't discredit Hernandez on that too much. But Roman Dolidze packs a punch, and he's a solid athlete. He's going to be strong. I just don't see him, because Michel Pereira, when we see Michel Pereira in that last fight, he just looked fucking terrible. And then we saw him again against Abus Magomedov. He looked even worse. Somehow looked even worse.
I'm not saying it. I just meant like in terms of gas tanks, how I see their gas tanks.
I think Michel Pereira.
I'm not saying Roman's as bad as Michel's. I guess I have to clarify that. I just think Roman having to anti-grapple for 5 rounds, especially, I can just see.
He might want to grapple.
I can see Roman rocking Anthony early, and there it is. Oh my God. There it is. And him not getting the finish. And me there it is. That's exactly what I wanted.
I really could see Roman Dolidze when Anthony Hernandez wants to grapple. I can see Roman Dolidze being like, okay, you want to grapple? Let's go. And I think it's going to be tricky.
That's real. I just think Anthony Hernandez has better top pressure, and he's not going to be trying to go for heel hooks and Imanari rolls and Barambolos like motherfucking Jack Hermanson.
Yeah, but to be fair, Brendan Allen was having a lot of success against Anthony Hernandez. And one thing that Brendan Allen does,
if Dolidze gets on top of Hernandez like Allen got on top of him, that could be real issues.
Yeah, and Allen could have finished Anthony Hernandez. And this is true. I usually don't bring up the IQ thing as much, but Brendan Allen, doesn't matter who he's fighting, whether it's Imavov, where he's actually having success on the striking, and then he just starts to spam wrestling, even though it looks like he's winning on the feet. Oh, no, let me just spam wrestling. And then against Anthony Hernandez, he has advantageous position and then just gives it away. I don't think Roman Dolidze, if he finds that position, is giving it away. And I think he's a lot stronger than Brendan Allen. So if he finds himself in a position similar to Brendan Allen found himself in multiple times over the course of 3 rounds, I don't think it's going to go the same way it went, where Anthony Hernandez is able to just magically fall into top position again because Brendan Allen went and did some dumb shit. And like I said, I can't say it enough. I am not high on Roman Dolidze. I just think he presents an interesting problem for Anthony Hernandez. And I'm very excited for this fight, though, because this is one where I'm truly
I think
like.
You've actually made me a little bit more cautious of my plays on it. So yeah, I agree. I think there are definitely some interesting look.
This one's going to be fun. This one's going to be fun. It's, it could end up being a grappler's delight, and there's a chance Roman Dolidze puts Anthony Hernandez in a spot he doesn't want to be in.
We're due for a good grappler's delight, brother. I miss the Sarukian Gamrots, the Gillespie versus Diego Carlos Fajedas of the world, man. Give me the Carlos Fajeda Gamrots of the world again. I need to see it.
Dude, that Gamrot Sarukian fight was fucking incredible. Unbelievable stuff.
When's the last time you watched Gillespie versus Carlos Diego Fajeda?
Bro, you told me about that like 6 months ago, probably, and I still haven't gone back.
Please do it tonight. Please.
Let me text
That is my
myself.
all-time. I'll text it to you. That's
Yeah,
my
you text
all-time number one favorite grappler's delight fight. It only lasts like 8 minutes, 9 minutes. I don't think it goes past the last minute of 2. But gosh, man, Gillespie came back, did that, and disappeared, bro. Went fishing.
Right. He disappeared, bro. He fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah. So
this card,
middleweight division's in a really good state right now. You have MVP versus Cannonier. If MVP wins that fight, he kind of puts himself in a position to fight one more guy before a number 1 title contender fight. You have technically, in my opinion, 2 possible title contender fights coming up. You have Imaba versus Barao, and then you have Dolidze versus Hernandez. I technically consider both of these could be title contender fights. They already said Brow versus Imavov is a title contender. That's already like they stated a title contender fight, right? A title eliminator.
Oh, Imavov and Baralia, right?
Yeah, that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
But I think this fight, if one of these guys goes out and put on a great performance and either of those dudes shit the bed, I think this could possibly take that spot. Middleweight's in the best spot it's been in for a long time. You have Hamzat versus DDP, which is a great fight, neck and neck. I'm going DDP, by the way. Just want to say that off rips. Ride it with my boy. And then you have Dolidze Hernandez. Then you have Brow Imavov. And then you have possibly MVP coming through the ranks. Middleweight's in a great fucking spot right now, y'all. Middleweight's in the best spot it's ever been in a while.
Dude. I'm pretty excited. And then you got Rainer de Ritter sneaking around.
In my head, I'm trying to say here, I'm like, who am I missing? There's one more person I'm missing.
Renee de Riddicker.
Renee the Riddicker, dog. The greatest pronunciation of all time.
Yeah, that shit was funny, bro. I was at work. That joint was geeking me.
Bro, that shit cracks.
I'm excited for this card. I mean, I'm excited for every card, but I got to say, I am frustrated with the way that these fights are lined, not even necessarily from I want to make money standpoint, but from a who the fuck is in charge of lining these fights? The bookies could get spanked on Saturday. They probably won't, and the big favorites are probably going to win. But these lines are it's almost like these lines have been designed so that you cannot make money on this card.
Hey, you know what they say? The house always wins, mate. The house
does. And boy, does it.
So,
any final thoughts before we go? You have a favorite underdog and a favorite prop of the night?
Yeah, I would say Cachoeira is probably my favorite underdog. Favorite prop of the night, Matsumoto inside of the distance. Feel pretty confident about that. You take the favorites parlay. You take CLD. You take Matsumoto. And then you cap it off with Hill to go the distance or over 2.5. And then you got a sneaky little plus money parlay. I feel pretty good about that. So my plus money parlay of the week to go over one more time is Matsumoto, CLD, and then the Hill fight to go over 2.5. Yusindo, I'm sorry. Favorite dog of the week would be Cachoeira. And worth a sprinkle is Sequeira too as well. Just saying. And then favorite prop of the week and my favorite bet of the weekend, period, because there's not heavy boxing. Matsumoto inside the distance. I'll be pretty heavy on that fight.
Hell yeah, brother. So mine as well. My favorite prop of the week is honestly going to be Christian Duncan by knockout at plus 190. So for a Mike versus Nick collab, I'm gonna probably throw in the cheeky CLD by knockout, Gene Matsumoto inside the distance parlay. Probably find maybe a plus 1,000 for that one, which is pretty juicy. My favorite underdog of the week is going to be Roman Dolidze. I just cannot escape the feeling that he's going to give some serious difficulty to Anthony Hernandez in the main event. And then for my parlay, I had a pretty solid parlay in my video that I made earlier. I can't remember what it was. It was like, I can't remember. But essentially similar to yours, like take CLD, Matsumoto, and then another very confident favorite, and that'll go from around a minus 150. Throw in another heavy favorite, it'll give you plus money juice, and we should be all good to go. That's going to be the way we make money on this card. A couple sneaky props, a couple close money, barely plus money parlays with massive confident favorites, and then other than that, save your money for UFC 319 because it is coming, and Dricus du Plessis against Hamzat Chimaev is going to be an absolute banger. Let's get after it. We're going to finish it up. We're going to wrap it up. You already know. Before we head out,
like, share, subscribe on Breaking Bad Boxing YouTube. Make sure you show me some love. Breaking Bad Boxing YouTube. If you want boxing picks, shout out to the CST gang.
Yeah. Shout out to the best in the game. Breaking Bad Boxing on YouTube. Go subscribe, like our video, subscribe to our video, our channel, whatever the fuck. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a follow everywhere. And we're going to be back next week breaking down the pay-per-view. It's going to be a banger. We'll be back soon, y'all. Oh, bet responsibly, enjoy the fights, and have fun.